Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news today, authorities are investigating an act of terror in New York City. Police say a 29-year-old man from Uzbekistan drove a truck down a pedestrian path in Lower Manhattan, aiming it at walkers, runners, and bicycle riders, killing 8 and injuring 11 more. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio calling it a cowardly act of terror. ABC's Stephanie Ramos is live in New York with the latest. Stephanie.
All hands on deck here in New York City. Authorities spent the overnight hours combing through video and still images collected from traffic and surveillance cameras along the route of the attack, trying to piece together all of the evidence to figure out how another deadly attack could have happened here in New York City.
Hey, can you call 911? Oh my God.
New video released today shows frantic parents desperate to find their kids safe. Immediately after, 29-year-old suspect Safullo Saipov drove his rented Home Depot truck into people in Lower Manhattan.
I'm sorry, I have to go get my child.
His path down New York City's West Side Highway ended here after he crashed directly into the school bus carrying children home on Halloween. The school district says 2 adults and 2 kids were injured after many had already lost their lives.
We got multiple casualties. This is a mass casualty situation here.
The FBI and NYPD urging the public to share any videos and images that could help in the investigation, like this image taken by a witness showing the suspect after he's been shot in the stomach by an officer.
8 innocent lives are taken by a criminal committing a cowardly act, driving a rental truck.
Authorities say Saipov is from Uzbekistan and came to the U.S. in 2010, living in various states, Ohio, Florida, and most recently in New Jersey with his wife and 3 kids. Investigators believe Saipov was able to recon the area before carrying out that attack. But investigators also say they were able to talk to Saipov, who is out of surgery and expected to survive. It's unclear what, if any, information investigators were able to learn, but they do say that Saipov seemed proud of his attack. Reporting in New York, Stephanie Ramos, ABC News. Back over to you.
All right, Stephanie, thank you so much. Here at home, new details about the social media threat targeted at Riverview High School. Sarasota County Sheriff's investigators say a student used Snapchat last night to show an apparent weapon. The student indicated they might bring it to school today. Detectives tracked down that student and found the weapon in the photo was actually an airsoft gun, which looks like a real gun but can only fire non-metallic projectiles.
What's most important now is that the safety of the Riverview High School students is okay. Everyone is okay there this morning. In an abundance of caution, our deputies did go out to that school today to provide extra presence just to make sure that everyone felt safe and everything was okay.
School district sent a robocall to parents this morning saying the student posted to Snapchat with a credible threat to Riverview. Authorities say they had the student in custody for questioning. This comes less than a week after Sarasota High School went through a similar situation. We'll have more on the story as it develops. Sheriff's deputies do warn kids to be aware of what they post on social media because it can be seen by anyone. In Los Angeles, a parent storms into a school and holds a teacher hostage for hours yesterday. Police say Louvel Kennan forced his way through the lobby, getting into an empty classroom, barricading the door and taking a 70-year-old first-grade teacher hostage. Terrified students evacuated single file and waited for hours at a nearby park. Family members of the man say they are defending him.
I grabbed her, and then as soon we started going back up to I knew that I needed to get somewhere safe.
He's not a bad guy, you know, he's never been in trouble. He's a good kid, just having an emotional breakdown.
After hours of negotiations, the well-being of the teacher unknown, police decided to move in. The standoff coming to an end when SWAT team shot the suspect. He was later pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. All right, let's change gears and check on our weather today with meteorologist John Scalzi and just another gorgeous day.
Stellar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really doesn't get any better than that. I know a lot of people over the last couple of days have said it's been a little cold too soon, you know.
Yeah.
And for those folks, take heart because it's going to be warmer. It was warmer already this morning by about 10 degrees.
Felt it.
Yeah, and you can feel it. And this afternoon, you'll notice the little increase in humidity. But still, can't beat low 80s. You know, that's still comfortable, and I think most people, even if the humidity is a little bit higher, it's still low enough that some people who are comfortable with those temperatures will open up the windows still.
All right.
Yeah, so nice stuff. Continues on for the rest of this week, looks like. Temperatures running just about at or maybe a little below average for this time of year. Van Wezel webcam put into motion shows blue skies from horizon to horizon. It's nice out there. Winds have died down a little bit. It's still very comfortable in terms of the amount of humidity. Now, yesterday evening, by the time evening rolled around, we got a little bit of fair weather cloudiness, that high-level cloudiness for the most part kind of rolled in from time to time. You know, we may see that again today. We still have that easterly wind established. That'll be with us for most of the week ahead. And that tends to, pick up some clouds from the Atlantic and bring them across the state. So we may see that. Temperatures, 24-hour temperature change. Well, we started off warmer this morning and we're ending up warmer this afternoon than the same time 24 hours ago yesterday. 6 degrees warmer in Sarasota and in Bradenton. Current air temperatures across the region generally coming in the mid-70s right now. Well on our way to seeing temperatures a little around the 80-degree mark, a little over maybe. We'll have that complete forecast coming up in just a second. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. A decade after his first run for president, now former President Barack Obama hosting a 2-day summit to launch his foundation and yet to be built presidential library. It's a sort of brainstorming session between artists, entrepreneurs, officials, and young up-and-coming leaders. Former president inviting some famous friends such as Britain's Prince Harry and Hamilton writer and star Lin-Manuel Miranda, along with more than 500 budding activists from 60 countries and 27 states.
What I did learn was that ordinary people in local communities can do extraordinary things when they're given a chance, when their voices are heard, when they come together.
Summit wraps up today. The schedule includes speakers and panel discussions on topics from community engagement to empowering women and girls to social media responsibility. And a legacy of the former president is trying to protect. Open enrollment for Obamacare begins today. According to a recent report from the Department of Health and Human Services, 80% of Americans can get a 2018 plan for less than $75 a month. In addition, rising premium subsidies will make many plans on the exchanges more affordable. Open enrollment will run through December 15th in most states. The U.S. is experiencing an increase in premature births nationwide for the second year in a row. That's according to a new report from the March of Dimes. The report shows more than 380,000 babies are born preterm in the U.S. each year, facing a greater likelihood of death before their first birthday. Across the country, black women are 49% more likely to deliver preterm compared to white women. Premature birth is the largest contributor to death of babies in the U.S. Babies who survive an early birth often face serious and lifelong health problems. Today, emergency responders are practicing the drill in Bradenton to simulate and prepare for a terrorist attack. Operation Inshore Slam is a full-scale exercise to test the response from local emergency responders to a multi-casualty terrorism event. The scenario simulates an attack during a baseball game.
You know, we're trying to instill proactiveness in our society to be on the lookout for things that could be happening around us that can cause our citizens harms. Drills like this flex the system so we can practice this in a real-time, real-life environment.
Today's drill taking place at the Lecom Park in Bradenton. The goal to establish a learning environment for emergency response officials to exercise plans, policies, and procedures that they can use during a simulated incident. Starting today, you won't see the children's fountain at Bayfront Park spouting any water. It is closing for the winter season. The city will reopen that popular waterfront attraction, though, on April 1st, once spring arrives. Still to come in your Suncoast News, the Halloween sugar rush, how to avoid the holiday treats while at the office, and how you can earn some cash for all that Halloween candy and help a great cause at the same time.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com, A-N-D Services.com.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Buy more, save more. Volume discounts on 4 or more windows.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com. AND services.com.
Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
76-degree air temperature with plenty of sunshine outside. I have a dew point value coming in at 68, so that dew point value is slowly nudging its way upward, in part because of that, well, mostly because of that southerly component to the east-southeast wind at about 7. And in fact, that easterly wind will be kind of fluctuating between southeast, east-southeast, east-northeast, and east throughout the next probably 5 to 7 days. So we'll slowly see that increase in moisture occur. And while it probably won't lead to much in the way of a rainfall chance for us, it may lead eventually to a little bit of patchy fog around the area during the morning hours. That's a possibility. We have a 74-degree temperature in Wauchula, Arcadia, Myakka Parish, Bradenton, Lakewood, Ranch, Northport. Along the coastline, 73 in Inglewood, 74 in Venice, and 73 Longboat Key, 76 degrees in Sarasota. On our way to that 80-degree mark, and I think maybe a few degrees over it today, with high pressure, the dominant weather feature over the deep south. Now, we do have a frontal boundary kind of meandering back to the west, kind of riding over top of the top edge of that high pressure ridge. And eventually, this whole frontal boundary is going to basically just decay away as it is absorbed by this high pressure ridge over us. Now, it could produce some fairly strong storms today, or is producing some fairly strong storms today. And there could be some flooding rain associated with it, anywhere from the northern Gulf waters all the way up into the Ohio Valley. So watch for that if you're traveling today to Pittsburgh Airport or Cincinnati Airport, or really all the way down through Memphis into even New Orleans, Delta region. You could see some airport delays because of those low-hanging clouds and maybe an occasional stronger storm. To the north of that, we have some snow showers along the northern tier back into the mountains, and we could see at some of the higher elevations of the mountains some mountain snows that have some significant accumulations. Watch for that today as that low moves toward the east. High pressure for us, though, continues to provide that easterly wind flow around its underbelly and take moisture from the Atlantic and kind of transport it over to our neck of the woods. So that will do a couple of things. One, it's going to increase our nighttime temperatures as the dew point value rises. You can't lower a temperature to below dew point, and if you make the dew point rise, nighttime low rises. Mostly sunny skies. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot in the way of a rainfall chance. I say mostly sunny because we could see a few of those fair weather clouds move on past, but I think we stay fairly dry. Maybe the other coast gets a shower or two, and I think we still stay dry right into the weekend as well. Might have to update that forecast as we get closer to the weekend, but right now it looks that way. I don't think we'll see any of those showers actually move all the way across into our neck of the woods. So the Futurecast shows that kind of general motion of rain showers along the other coast kind of dying out as they move inland, and some of those higher level clouds being transported all the way across. Otherwise, fair weather with kind of the status quo right through into the weekend. Watch the moisture here on this computer model begin to increase. As the colors become a darker green, they shift to a more moist environment, and that's what could possibly lead to some of that patchy fog, especially as we head into the weekend. Northeast wind coming in about 10 knots, 2-foot seas, light chop. Nice day to be out on that water. And we'll look for a daytime high temperature that tops out in the low 80s. And don't forget, over the weekend, our clocks go back 1 hour, early Sunday morning, 2 a.m. Scott?
That time of year. All right, John, thank you. Your Halloween candy stash is probably overflowing right now, but one thing you might not want to add is the weight associated with eating too many sugary treats. One doctor says we can start that holiday season off right by setting limits at the office. Doctors at the Cleveland Clinic suggest creating an office rule to limit the amount of sweets that are brought in after a holiday. They say if you really have trouble walking past the candy jar, it's best to not fill it in the first place. Think out of sight, out of mind.
Make your office a safe zone. It often becomes a dumping ground for all the extra candy, holiday food. So when you go into the office, you can be very overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's the problem here at the station today. If you're trying to avoid using sugar to give you that mid-afternoon energy boost at work, Dr. Albers says getting up, walking around, and just doing some mild stretching can help get your blood pumping, giving you a natural energy boost instead. Well, Halloween is over, and we all now know our kids worked hard last night for all that candy while trick-or-treating. Well, now a local dentist wants to buy that candy back. Bradenton's Parkwood Dental East says it's all to help children in the long run whose teeth are often ravaged by a large amount of Halloween candy. Their program is all part of a national campaign to create a healthier Halloween and to benefit U.S. troops overseas who will receive all that donated candy through Operation Shoebox. You can drop off the candy from 3:30 to 6 today. Kids and their families will receive $1 per pound in return. A man that has been in the hospital for more than 4 years due to ALS got the Halloween surprise of a lifetime. The health team at an Indiana hospital organized a special trunk or treat event for his son so that he could see his little one go trick-or-treating. Reporter Aisha Tolliver has more that was there with the family and has more on the man that nursing staff says they've never seen so happy.
Ahead of Halloween night, 4-year-old Blaine Ellerbrook got to trick-or-treat a little early with his heroes. He even got to sit in a fire truck and sound the horn. A special day for Blaine, but even more special for his real hero. Blaine's dad watched it all happen from the 4th story of Deaconess Gateway Hospital. Joe Ellerbrook is terminally ill with ALS, and even though he can't speak, his face shows it all.
You never know what's going to happen day to day, and I'm just glad to see him smiling and getting to enjoy this moment with us.
I have never seen him smile this much in the 3 years that we've known him.
The idea all started with a few nurses like Ashley Gash, who have taken care of Joe since he was diagnosed. Gash says all Blaine's known is his dad in a hospital bed.
We watched him go from walking and talking to needing to be trached and not being able to breathe on his own to being almost completely paralyzed. And he is very special to us.
Right. Like many 4-year-olds, Blaine looks up to firefighters and police officers. And local first responders jumped at the chance to be there for him.
Me as a father and those of us who are in first responders that are parents, there's a lot of times because of the nature of the job that we do that we can't participate with our children. So we wanted Blaine to come trick-or-treat with us, and we wanted Joe to be able to see it.
The trick-or-treating continued inside the hospital where Joe could watch his son's joy up close. There was tons of candy and gifts, including a nurse's outfit. And after a quick costume change, Blaine ran to check his dad's pulse.
That's the blood flowing. That's the blood flowing.
Brandy says this could be the last Halloween Blaine could spend with his dad, and if it is, it was more than she could have ever imagined. Thanks to all that help there from the firefighters and the hospital staff. Great story. Let's get back over to the kitchen now. Check in with Judy Gallagher, who is creating something delicious for us today. It already smells terrific in the kitchen.
Well, Scott, I think everybody will like this recipe because it's easy enough, but it has that warm, hearty feel. So this is one of those dishes that you can use while you're watching a World Series game or tailgating, or something I might pick for the night before Thanksgiving because it's easy enough and it's not going to be turkey and gravy. I am making a sausage and cannelloni bean ragu. You can either serve that on pasta or we're going to do a creamy Parmesan polenta using instant polenta. So this is one of those Dishes that won't take you a long time, just let it all simmer, and the flavor even gets better the next day. So stay with me throughout the hour as we bring you delicious tastes from an Italian kitchen that I think you're going to really enjoy.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills. Wow! Stop stains and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now, and you can double your offer. Get a second Couch Coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your couch coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life, you miss precious moments. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye and over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. Our simple 3-step process begins with a free evaluation, followed by an extensive preoperative exam to determine if you're a candidate for LASIK eye surgery. Depending on the results of your evaluation and eye exam, you and your surgeon will choose the LASIK option that works best for you. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation. That's a $100 value, free. Call the LASIK Vision Institute for your free evaluation and enjoy more of your life.
Call 1-800-813-0109. 1-800-813-0109.
ABC7 is the most watched, most trusted news source on the Suncoast, and we owe it all to you, our loyal viewers. Thank you for making us #1.
Schools. ABC7's Linda Carson introduces us to Angel Calaniso, who set a goal as a teenager and made that dream come true.
If you live in Manatee County, Clerk of Courts and Comptroller Angel Calaniso is in charge of recording every major event in your life.
If you get married, if you buy a home, you're going on vacation, anything, death in a family, we have a probate department.
The Clerk of Courts and Comptroller also handles public safety issues and oversees the county spending. And Angel is making history.
I'm the first woman to be clerk, and I'm the first woman to be elected into one of the 5 constitutional offices in Manatee County.
Angel got her education in Manatee County schools and worked at the courthouse part-time while in school.
I worked at Bell's, at Bell's department store, and then my passion was law. I wanted to be a lawyer. I knew I wanted to be a lawyer, and I heard of someone getting a job at the courthouse, and I thought, that's where I need to go.
She worked in the Clerk of Court's office for 7 years, then went away to law school and became a prosecutor in the state attorney's office.
That job was exciting. I prosecuted everything from homicides, cases that involved gang violence, serial rapists, and DUIs, everything.
Longtime Clerk of Courts Chip Shore had been Angel's mentor all through school.
Mr. Shore approached me and wanted me to be his general counsel.
She certainly knew how the department worked.
I've actually worked that counter. I've worked in the courtroom as a trial clerk. I've handled challenging situations at the counter in civil. I've worked in the criminal department here. I have a working knowledge of the office.
But she wasn't sure she wanted to leave the prosecutor's office.
I loved what I was doing, and he said, well, I want you to succeed me when I retire. And that gave me something big to think about.
So she said yes, but Chip Shore died before he could retire. She loves the job he so carefully groomed her for.
He always used to say to keep it simple. Just stay basic and keep it simple. Don't complicate things, and and treat people with respect, treat everyone with respect.
She's also deeply involved in community organizations.
I am a Take Stock in Children mentor, and I belong to Kiwanis. I'm part of the Manatee Memorial Hospital Women's Action Committee, and I've been part of Leadership Manatee, their board.
And her life lesson?
Just follow your dream and don't give up and pursue it.
And to show you what a great person the Clerk of Courts really is, she was nominated to be honored as an amazing Suncoast woman by her staff, those who know her best. Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Linda, thank you so much. Back over to the kitchen now and check in again with our culinary director, Judy Gallagher. Judy?
So the first thing you want to do is you want to start cooking with your bulk sausage. I prefer a mix of both hot and sweet Italian sausage. If you can't find it in bulk, it's no problem, but do break it off the links so you can just take off the casing, and it will give you a chance to break it down. So you're going to cook it in a large saucepan. You know, this is halfway in between a fry pan and a saucepan. You want to get the higher edges, so later on when we add in the diced tomatoes, it won't overflow. But it's going to simmer differently than, say, a traditional spaghetti and meatball sauce. So we're going to cook this for about 3-4 minutes just to get the pink out of the sausage, because it's going to go back in. So while this is starting to break down, I've got a pan of 3 cups of water, and I'm going to bring this up to high. What you want to do is we're going to use an instant polenta, and giving choices when you're having dinner, something like this. I also last night made something similar, but I used the zucchini noodles, the spiralizer, instead of pasta. I do have some pappardelle pasta already cooked up. I like to use pappardelle because it's those thick, wide noodles, and I think it really holds well with this. So what we're going to do when most of the sausage is cooked, we're going to just take it out, put it in a bowl, and there'll be a little bit of brown on the bottom, which is exactly what we want, because we'll get to that in a minute. Put the pan back on, raise the heat as needed. Take a good quality olive oil, give that a little splash, and then we're going to saute 1 chopped onion. Okay, I love onions. I know some people don't. You can omit it, but I'd go a little bit heavier on the garlic if you're going to omit the onions. So we're going to simmer down the onions about 3 to 4 minutes. Don't let them brown. We want that translucent, so almost like a clear phase. Just to speed this up for TV, I'm going to go ahead and do the next step, which would be to add the garlic. 2 to 3 cloves of minced fresh garlic, never the jar, because it really is just bitter. You want to do things that are fresh. You can buy peeled garlic at like Yoder's Produce Market or the Fresh Market that's already in a container, and that makes your life easier if you want, but truly it's easy enough. Let's let that simmer just a little bit. When we come back, we're going to add the sausage back in, do some tricks and deglaze that pan, and then we'll get started on the creamy polenta. It's easy, it's delicious, and it'll keep you feeling warm all over.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC 7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Do you need a good laugh? Starting November 1st at the Player Center, everything that can go wrong does go wrong in the smash hit comedy Moon Over Buffalo. This wild Broadway series production shows what happens both on stage and off. Contact the Players at 365-2494 or at theplayers.org. The show must go on with Moon Over Buffalo.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee counties since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
You can do something about a crime, any crime, and you can receive a reward of up to $3,000 cash. Call Crime Stoppers with information about criminal activity, unsolved crimes, drug dealers, fugitive criminals, stolen property, illegal weapons. Call 366-TIPS. You will remain anonymous. Visit SarasotaCrimeStoppers.com. Download the Crime Stoppers P3 mobile app from the Apple iTunes Store or Google Play. Call Crime Stoppers 366-TIPS. Paid for by the Attorney General's Office, Crime Stoppers Trust Fund.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com. AND services.com.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. Our top story this half hour. The immigration debate is back in the spotlight today in the wake of yesterday's terror attack in New York City. President Trump is calling for merit-based immigration. ABC's Lana Zak has more on the immigrant from Uzbekistan and what the president is tweeting about him.
Washington today is reacting to the terror attack in New York.
We're thinking of our fellow Americans in New York. We're expressing our gratitude for the critical work of our first responders.
But the news that the perpetrator came to the U.S. as an immigrant from Uzbekistan, a Central Asian country north of Afghanistan, has prompted President Trump to call for changes to America's immigration policies, even going after New York Senator Chuck Schumer by name, tweeting, "The terrorist came into our country through what is called the Diversity Visa Lottery Program, a Chuck Schumer beauty. I want merit-based." But Republican Senator Jeff Flake disputed the president's characterization, tweeting, "The Gang of Eight, including Senator Schumer, did away with the diversity visa program as part of broader reforms. I know, I was there." And Senator Schumer, who was on that very bike path just last month, responded by drawing a comparison to the last time New York was attacked.
After September 11th, the first thing that President Bush did was invite Senator Clinton and me to the White House, where he pledged to do what was ever in his power to help our city.
Saying President Trump could immediately restore the anti-terrorism funding that he proposes cutting in his most recent budget.
Instead of dividing, instead of politicizing, do something real, Mr. President.
President Trump also said he ordered Homeland Security to increase the existing extreme vetting program. But Homeland Security tells ABC News no such program currently exists, though all visa holders do go through background checks. Lana Zak, ABC News, Washington.
Here at home, a Bradenton ice cream man remains behind bars after his arrest for sexually assaulting a 7-year-old girl. 66-year-old Bernardo Salinas was arrested Sunday, charged with capital sexual battery. Manatee County Sheriff's investigators say the assault happened inside his home after the girl bought ice cream from him. He was known as the ice cream man around that neighborhood.
I was really scared because back in the day before that happened, I used to buy a lot of ice cream with him, and I used to actually send my little sister to go get ice cream for us. And then after that, it's been a little bit spooky now.
I feel better that he is in jail, but it also puts me on edge thinking like a lot of people could easily be so nice but could be really harmful. Like, it actually scares me.
The Manatee County Sheriff's Office says there could be more victims. An Orlando teenager made the wrong choice for a Halloween costume this year. Police say 18-year-old Bernardo Turan was holding a plastic knife and wearing a mask from the movie Scream and scaring people last night. 2 women say he approached them while raising the knife above his head. He was arrested and charged with aggravated assault while wearing a mask. A follow-up now on animals digging up grave sites in a Bradenton cemetery. We're learning more about who is responsible for these abandoned cemeteries. Adams and Rogers cemeteries have been abandoned for decades. While Manatee County has prisoners clean them up at times, the county does not own the properties. No one does, in fact. There is a sexton that keeps track of who is buried where and sells the plots of land to funeral home directors. That person will even dig the graves, but some funeral directors claim they're not dug deep enough. The sexton says he did not dig those shallow graves. He says the funeral home D. Allen Moore did. Well, even though vault covers have been placed over the sand-mound grave sites, other funeral home directors say the problem is not solved.
If an animal can unearth a gravesite, I mean, obviously it's not buried enough. The person has to be protected, either in a steel casket or in a concrete burial vault, or both.
According to the state, there's no law that says a specific entity has to take over when these cemeteries are abandoned. Recent stormy weather is bringing out the best in some in the state of Maine. The Durham Get and Go is running on a generator, which means customers can only pay with cash or check. With power outages throughout the area and ATMs not working, people have been short of cash. So the store started an IOU board, floating them $20 at a time, just enough to get their own generator started. The board has ballooned to $2,500, and the response has been overwhelming.
They kept on saying thank you all the time. And they said they'll be back as soon as we get power. And we're like, no hurry. We all know how it is. We're all living the same.
Well, in case you're wondering, the store says some people have already come back to settle their tabs. That is a great way to help out after, I think we can all relate to that after what happened here during Irma. So many people were without power. It's so inconvenient.
It's so great.
That's when you see, people rally and help each other.
That's right.
Yeah.
Trust between business and community is a wonderful thing.
It is.
Absolutely awesome. Yeah. We are looking here locally at some pretty nice weather, that's for sure. Certainly no generators required here. In fact, air conditioners are being turned off. Maybe a few heaters being run at night, but I think that's about to change as well, as we're going to see some warming take place over the next several days. Already seeing some this afternoon as temperatures start to climb in response to all that sunshine that we're seeing out there. Lakewood webcam not showing a cloud in the sky out there. It's really, really pretty. Now, we may see a few fair weather clouds work their way past us today as we have that general easterly wind, southeasterly wind, pumping in moisture from the Atlantic that could bring a few fair weather high thin clouds, but that's about it. No rainfall. Daytime highs are going to be warmer than yesterday. We've already reached the temperature we hit yesterday, and so as we head into the afternoon, we'll probably add another 4 or 5 degrees onto current air temperatures, which are generally in the mid-70s. So we'll go with about 81, 82 degrees for a daytime high today, with mostly sunny skies and not a drop of rain. Complete forecast in just a few. Back to you.
All right, John, thank you. Goodwill is partnering with a local school to help them restock their library. Over the summer, St. Martha Catholic School's library had a moisture problem, and of the 14,000 books inside, only 150 were salvageable. Sarasota Patch reporting Goodwill Manasota is donating books to the school's K through 8th graders. They've already donated about 150 books, but the school has been invited to return and take more books in the future. The South Florida Museum is looking to buy the land it calls home. In order to qualify for special financing for its upcoming expansion, the South Florida Museum will have to assume ownership of the downtown site. The museum has leased that land from the city of Bradenton since the early 60s. Sarasota Herald Tribune reporting the deed comes with a reverter clause that it requires the property to be used primarily as a museum, planetarium, and/or aquarium, which shall be open to the public. In January of 2015, the museum announced a $12 million project to expand what is already the largest natural history and cultural museum on Florida's west coast. And groundbreaking for that project is expected for mid-December. Universal Orlando also has some expansion plans. The theme park buying another 100 acres nearby. The Orlando Sentinel reports the new land cost Universal nearly $30 million. The land is many times larger than Universal Orlando Resort currently, which has basically built itself out completely. That includes Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, Volcano Bay, as well as City Walk and several hotels. Back to the kitchen again and check on that delicious pasta dish with culinary director Judy Gallagher.
Okay, so here we go. Just for time's sake, I re-added the sausage, but normally I just keep it to the onions and garlic. Now we're going to deglaze. Here's what I like about getting half bottles of wine. They may be a little more expensive, but if you're only using them for cooking, they're perfect and you can stick them in the refrigerator after. We're going to deglaze the pan so that gets all those little brown bits that the sausage created and a little bit of the onion. So we're going to just stir that around for a little bit, let the wine start to reduce. But these little smaller bottles are just such a really convenient way. If, like I said, if you don't drink a lot of wine, but you want to use a decent wine. So that's starting to reduce. Now we're going to add a full teaspoon, but I do a heaping teaspoon of tomato paste. This is going to give it some thickness, the tomato paste, and some depth of the flavor. Because you use tomato paste when you're not using a jarred sauce. So like if you're making your sauce straight from plum tomatoes in this season, and before long we'll be into the Florida tomatoes, which will be good. So we'll get those delicious aromas. So you can see already in the base of the pan, it's starting to thicken. The wine's cooking down. This is perfect. So now what we're going to do, we're going to need a can of diced tomatoes. You don't need any other seasoning in it like basil or anything like that, because I'd rather you use fresh herbs, okay? So we're going to let this simmer down, and then we're going to add a can of drained, rinsed cannelloni beans. Now you really want to drain these beans because they're too starchy in the can. You don't want that syrup to go in it. As much crushed red pepper, usually a pinch is good because we have the hot sausage mixed in with the sweet. Red pepper grows in strength the longer it's in, so by the next day, you might watch out. You're going to let that simmer for about an hour, and then you're going to get this thick, luscious ragu. So now let's talk about polenta. You can use the instant polenta, which is really easy to work with. I have 2 cups water, 1 cup of chicken stock. I'm going to just continue to stir it so it doesn't have bumps or lumps. And in 3 minutes, this is going to be done. I'm going to add a little plain yogurt and some Parmesan cheese, and we have creamy polenta. And the plain yogurt's going to keep it just a little creamier without having to pour in a lot of heavy cream. So when I come back, I think it's ready to plate, and we'll give John Scalzi a taste. I think he'll like this one.
Take the trolley to Siesta Beach for the Crystal Classic Sand Sculpting Festival, November 10th through 13th. See master sand sculptors create works of art. It's family fun with hands-on kids activities, sand sculpting lessons, music, food, a party tent, and more. Visit SiestaKeyCrystalClassic.com.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
When severe weather strikes, trust ABC7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
It's bigger and better. The Siesta Key Crystal Classic Sand Sculpting Festival, November 10th through 13th. 24 international artists create massive sand sculptures. Enjoy 4 days and 2 nights with live music, food, a party tent, and more. See SiestaKeyCrystalClassic.com for details.
Now Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
76 degrees, the current air temperature, plenty of sunshine out there, and a dew point value of 58, indicating a warming trend in the dew point as well, meaning there's more atmospheric moisture around. Dew points a few days ago were in the 30s. So when you have dew points in the 30s, that's almost desert-like dry. Now with dew points in the 50s, that's pretty comfortable. Most people would think that's pretty comfortable. It's a little bit more of a moist environment than it was 24 hours ago, but it's still not to the point where it feels humid and sticky. And I don't think we will get there. Usually when you get dew points in the 70s, most people would say, that's too humid, that doesn't feel good. Dew points in the 50s and even in the 60s, low 60s, they're pretty comfortable. East-southeast wind coming in at about 7. Temperatures across the region generally hugging the mid-70s most everywhere. We are really on track to see a temperature kind of top out around the 80-degree mark or maybe a little bit above. It's a few degrees below our average for this time of year, but still pretty comfortable, I think. High pressure remains our dominant weather feature. Big storms possible through parts of the deep south and on up into the Ohio Valley. Maybe even some snow showers for Cincinnati or maybe Akron as we head into the later half of the afternoon. Low pressure area riding along the northern tier, producing some snow showers there for the Dakotas, for Wisconsin, back toward areas of the mountainous regions of the Cascades and Olympic Mountain ranges, possibly there. We'll get some accumulations that'll be appreciable. But for the most part, I think our weather is going to stay just fine as this high-pressure ridge really doesn't move. The frontal boundary located to the north of us will be a focal point for shower and thunderstorm activity, but it will probably eventually just decay away by tomorrow or certainly 36 hours from now as that high-pressure ridge remains fixed where it is. Now, we will develop an easterly wind flow around that high. That will continue on with a flow around that high, kind of scooping in some moisture from the Atlantic, bringing us a few more clouds around. And as we head into the weekend and we continue that process, our dew points may be high enough and our daytime morning temperatures rather low enough that we could pick up some patchy fog around. That's certainly not out of the question. Mostly sunny, rising humidity, but still dry. Not enough moisture aloft yet to support any kind of rain shower chances. Now, we could pick up a few showers over on the other coast, but it's unlikely that they would move all the way across the state and into our neck of the woods. They will generally just die out before making it really even to the middle of the state. So that will be the case for the next several days, it looks like. As humidity begins to increase across the region, we'll watch for that increase in our fog chances as we head into, particularly, I think, Saturday morning and Sunday morning, but even Friday morning, that's certainly a possibility. Titan radar not showing any rainfall here, but as I mentioned, there's a pretty good chance of some strong storms producing some localized flooding, particularly in parts of Louisiana, Alabama, on up through Memphis area. There could be some airport delays there, and then on into the Ohio Valley and Pennsylvania as well. Could see some snow showers there, and of course those snows back to the west. The chance for severe weather really kind of localized here for Louisiana Delta region. That's where the chance for severe weather will be. The rest of the country doesn't have much of a chance for any kind of storminess except in those areas noted. Northeast wind at about 10 knots, and the forecast for the remainder of the week looks pretty good. Daytime highs in the low 80s with the time being put back, don't forget, as we head into early Sunday morning. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. Next year, Florida shoppers may be able to cash in on 2 back-to-back weekends of tax-free back-to-school supplies. The proposal would allow shoppers to avoid paying sales taxes for 10 days in late July and early August. It would apply to certain clothes, shoes, school supplies, even personal computers. This past August, the state offered a shorter 3-day tax holiday. If this 10-day proposal is approved, the tax holiday would last from July 27th through August 5th.
Some people just can't wait because school starts earlier in different parts of the state. So some people actually kind of missed that back to school window in years past. This time, with the dates being a little bit earlier, we'll capture everybody, the entire state, and everybody can benefit.
The state has offered back to school tax holidays most years since 1998. Tech companies are in the hot seat while Congress grills them about Russia's meddling in the 2016 presidential election. Executives from Facebook, Twitter, and Google testified in the first of 3 hearings this week. The Senate Judiciary Subcommittee on Crime and Terrorism pressed the companies on their ability to prevent people from taking advantage of their platforms through ads and regular posts. Facebook's general counsel, Colin Stretch, admitted that the social networking site had limitations on what it could know. He also revealed the sweeping scale of Russian influence.
From the three agencies about exactly what is going on, and most importantly, what they are prepared to do to stop it.
Facebook's representative also adding that people have a right to expect more from them and they are determined to do better. Twitter also revealed it found more than 36,000 accounts that appeared to be linked with Russia. The tech companies have condemned the Russian meddling and pledged to crack down where necessary. And another reminder, you can get the latest information on breaking news and local news by downloading our new updated version of our news app. iPhone users can go to the App Store and search for WWSB or My Suncoast. Still to come in your Suncoast News, the cast of Evita is on the Suncoast, and ABC7 got a preview of their performance today. We'll hear from the lead actress and what she says about her opportunity to take on this role.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
Do you have type 2 diabetes, which requires daily blood monitoring? If you have diabetes, are you on Medicare, Obamacare, or other health insurance? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for diabetic testing supplies at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. Our accredited staff will handle all of your paperwork for free. And best of all, your diabetic testing supplies are shipped directly to your home for free. Call now to see if you qualify for a meter upgrade and a free pedometer to monitor your daily walking. Use alternate testing sites, a smaller blood sample, and even hear your results out loud. Will you qualify for diabetic testing supplies and an upgraded meter covered by Medicare, Obamacare, or health insurance at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you?
Find out for free by calling the Diabetes Resource Center at 1-800-394-1098. That's 1-800-394-1098, 1-800-394-1098.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
For 30 years, it's been an honor for the Michaels on Ice team to serve you.
We love that our restaurant, wine cellar, and ballroom have become your favorite gathering places, and we love catering your parties.
From everyday celebrations to life's greatest occasions, please join us soon for new culinary adventures. A toast to 30 years.
And to many more.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
We are back in the kitchen. And, oh, really? Thank you. I won't say no.
It's hot. So you have that creamy Parmesan polenta. I put in some fresh diced rosemary on it and a little extra Parmesan. And then the sausage, both hot and sweet ragu, some cannelloni beans in there. deglazed with wine, and I think we got a warm, cool supper.
That is a very interesting dish, because I never would have thought of putting polenta and a bolognese together. It is amazing.
I never would have thought about it. I read an article, and then I started using polenta a little bit more. So there you go. You can go on mysuncoast.com, get that recipe. Just click on the dining page, and don't forget to enter our contest to win a $50 dining gift certificate.
I'm just going to eat. Do you mind?
Okay, you eat. I'll send it back to Scott.
All right, thank you both. Today, the cast of Evita held a preview of its cast on the grounds of the Ringling. Puerto Rican recording artist and actress Ana Isabel leads the all-star cast as Eva Perón.
There's not a lot of roles that I can play on theater because of my accent. So for me, it was a great opportunity to represent women, to also be a voice for the Latino community.
Evita officially opens November 18th. It will run through December 30th. Tickets are available at oslorep.org. I know you'll be seeing it.
Looks good.
Have a good day.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC 7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Enjoy fine wine, craft beer, and delicious foods, all while supporting a great cause at the 16th Annual Suncoast Food and Wine Festival presented by Publix, Saturday, November 11th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Sarasota Polo Club. Taste wines from around the world and sample cuisine from the area's finest restaurants. All proceeds benefit a variety of local charities and Rotary Club projects. For tickets and information, visit suncoastfoodandwinefest.com.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.